Hi everyone, Ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Kiyomo shadowing no lesson wo yarakimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zehi. Channel no toroku wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
So you need to say, I'm very sorry, but in business English, huh? It's not always straightforward, is it?
No, it really isn't. It's like you can't just say sorry and expect it to land well, especially when you're making a request, declining something, or even disagreeing, you know?
Exactly. It's about softening the blow, right? You don't want to sound rude or abrupt. So how do you actually say, I'm very sorry, but ooh, in a way that works in a formal setting?
Well, when you need to be formal, there are options like regrettably or unfortunately. These are good for starting a sentence where you're about to deliver some bad news or decline something.
Right, those words set the tone. They prepare the person that they are about to hear something not so good.
Yeah, and if you want to be a bit more specific, you can say, I'm afraid that phrase is like a softer way of saying, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah!
So instead of a hard no, you're kind of easing into it. I see it's like building a cushion for the bad news or the difficult request. Precisely. And another way to be even more clear about turning down a request is to use I must decline your request. It leaves no room for ambiguity.
Right. This is a very clear way to say, I can't do this, but it's still polite and maintains the formality of business. What if you want it to be a little less formal?
Then you'd go with, I am sorry, but ire. It's useful for all sorts of situations where you're making a request or saying no, but with a softer tone.
Ah, okay. So you've got a whole range from regrettably to I'm sorry, but to soften a hard no. Are there any tips on how to use these phrases correctly? I mean, how do you make sure they really land well?
Yeah, you have to be mindful of the context. For instance, if you're rejecting a proposal from a big client, you'd definitely go with, regrettably, I am unable to approve your request. That's high stakes. If it's something less critical, something a bit more casual, I am sorry, but I cannot attend the meeting, can work well.
Makes sense. It's like matching the language to the situation. It's also important to be clear and concise, right?
Exactly. Don't beat around the bush. That's key. Get straight to the point after you've softened the blow. Being straightforward after using these phrases is important to not sound passive-aggressive or wishy-washy.
That's a good one. What about when you're asking for something that might be a big ask? How do you soften that blow?
When you know you're asking for a lot, starting with, I am sorry to ask this of you, can be quite effective. You're acknowledging you're making a big ask. You might also add, I feel sorry for asking you to do this kind of thing if it makes you upset.
Right, so it shows you're aware of the imposition. It's like saying, I know this isn't ideal, but yeah.
Precisely. It's all about showing that you're respectful and considerate, even when you have to ask something tough.
And what if you are trying to politely say no to a request or an invitation, but still maintain the relationship and not sound too harsh?
Well, that's where phrases like, I wish I could but, or unfortunately I have to decline, come in. They express a level of regret and soften the impact of saying no. You can also try adding something like, I'm sorry, but I'm not able to.
So you are expressing regret, but also making your position clear. It's about finding that balance.
That's it. It's about being direct, but not abrasive.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Regrettably, unfortunately, I'm afraid that I must decline your request. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to ask this of you. All useful ways of saying I'm very sorry, but depending on the situation.
Absolutely. This is about picking the right phrase for the right context and being clear and respectful in how you say things.
Well, that makes things so much clearer. Thanks for breaking that down. It's good to know there's more to I'm sorry than we think.
Sure thing. And remember, it's all about choosing the right words to keep communication smooth, whether you're making a difficult request, delivering bad news, or even just saying no.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your kansa or request in the comments. ぜひ channel no toroku wo onegai shimasu. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye-bye.